Hi everyone, welcome to StunnerShare. So in this video, what we are going to see is I gave four stocks for an intraday trade in the Telegram channel. So I did not give it as a call, but I just mentioned these can perform the next day. So for example, on 2nd of March, I gave that ICICI Bank and the State Bank of India can do good on 3rd of March, and on 4th of March, I gave two stocks, Divis Lab and Nestle India, stating that on 5th of March that it can perform good. So these were the post stocks I said, and there were a lot of queries like how you are able to say it like before, like a day before, and how how did you manage it and how it performed, where was your entry, and all these questions were there. So I just wanted to give some clarity on that. So that is why I'm just making this video. So let me go to daily time frame and let me choose a stock ICICI Bank. Okay. So let's remove all other things. Okay. 1 minute. Okay. Got it. Okay. So these were the two. First stock is going to be ICICI Bank, and how did I tell? So for example, I okay, it is over here. I said on this particular day that the ICICI Bank can perform the next day, and this is a particular movement happened that day. Fine. So people are asking like how. So it is very simple. So if you could see, I was able to make it based on this candle structure. Okay. So this candle structure is basically sort of an inside bar category, and then if it is also like a compressed state. So if you see the body of the two candles on March 1st and March 2nd, it is compressed completely. So my point was like, okay, it can perform the next day, and I was expecting on the buy side only. So this is how I just decided this particular stock and I traded on. So if you see State Bank of India, again the same thing. So these three candles are like inside bar category. So I was expecting it to perform good on the upper side. So how I was able to decide it will go upper side, or how I was able to decide it will go downside is like is simple. When I'm going for the particular day, like on the trading day on 3rd of March, I'll be like not having anything in my mind. I'll just be like, okay, let's see how the candles are reacting. So that is how I go for it. So now let me tell you in depth on how did I take it. So so this is 3rd of March, and okay, done. So if you see, this is going to be the previous day high according to 3rd of March, right? And and, and also if you see, we are having a gap zone over here. So this is the gap zone. So, and if you see after giving a gap down, that current day it was like traded downside, but after that, if you notice, it was making higher lows. It was making higher lows. So, and this side it was like looking like a cup and handle bottom. So, if you see this particular zone to this particular zone looks like a cup, and same way this particular zone to this particular zone was looking like a cup and handle pattern. So, and these are the analysis I did on the next day. Now, let me come to the intraday. How did I take a trade? So, as I said earlier, this was acting as a good gap zone. So, I wanted the resistance of previous day high to get a break. So, that is where I was like, I'll be able to go for a trade. So, on that particular day on March 3rd, I was able to see a slight gap up, and the first 15 minutes, the candle closed with a good strong candle closed above the resistance. That is nothing but the previous day high. So ultimately, now my target will be like this portion can be easily considered because this portion is going to be the gap zone resistance. And once above that, it can go still further high. Okay, so not exactly at what level it can reach, but at least till this zone. Why? Because there is another gap is also over here. So we can expect, and there is some rejection which has happened earlier also. Let me remove this. If you see, the rejection has happened again at this zone. So we might expect some price towards this zone. So that is what my expectation. And ultimately, on that particular day, ICICI Bank performed well and it gave nearly more than 2%. So the same way, SBI, State Bank of India, on 3rd of March, if you could see, let me remove this. There is a gap zone. This is the gap zone exactly. And if you see, there is some resistance like previous day high and the current week. And if you see, even in this particular State Bank of India, the first candle itself closed above the previous day high, and the next 2 to 3 candles gave me the confirmation that it is going for a consolidation or a pullback, and it started moving up like ICC. So the same way, like ICICI Bank, where it might go to this first zone of like gap resistance would be the first zone, and after that it can go till this zone. So this is what my expectation. Because if you again see, there is some rejection over here and there is some rejections over here. So these were the zones I was like concentrating much. Okay. So now these are the two examples which I gave on March 2nd, telling that March 3rd it can perform good. Now let's see the Thursday examples like Nestle India and Divis Lab and how those are connected. So similar concept of compression which I see on Nestle, like these two candles were like showing the sign of compression. And why these two zones are showing compression? Because the body is very less, and also there is some buying signal shown, and the candles were having a good overview. So I was expecting some move, and my analysis was like, if suppose if it is able to break this particular zone, and then it can go to fill this gap. So that was my expectations with Nestle India. And again, if you see, I have already told in the Telegram that Nestle India, I'm trying to get it again, like hold it for swing. Why? Because after making a good top, it was like falling from the top. Okay, and and came for a pullback. Let's see what it shows. So, for example, before to COVID, so the resistance was over here. Okay, so and then market was breaking that and was consolidating for a longer time, and then it started moving up, breaking this zone, and again it came for a pullback. Now Nestle is in a critical zone. Why critical zone is like, if in case if it is going to break this particular support which it has taken, then ultimately Nestle will be coming towards this zone. This zone is the last point of support for what is it called, Nestle. If in case Nestle is again going to break, then we are very much sure that we can go and touch the COVID low. Okay, so my expectations was like, if Nestle can make a higher low zone and start moving up. So that is why when I saw these many candles forming, making a support, these many candles, if you see, these many candles were making some support, and that is why I decided that Nestle can perform good, and the lower wick rejections showed that some bulls are trying to enter. Okay, now let's forget about the swing analysis or something. But whenever I say the next day these two stocks or some stocks can perform, my analysis will be on these sides, like checking like what it is doing, how it is forming, and like how much it has fallen or risen, and where its recent support or resistance. All these things I'll be noticing. Now let's go and see in 15-minute time frame what it is happening. And this is completely different from ICICI Bank and State Bank of India in an intraday analysis. Okay, on the intraday analysis of ICICI Bank and State Bank of India, I was mostly concentrating on the how the previous day high is getting broken, and how whether any pattern is getting formed, and all these things were analyzed. But in the case of Nestle India, it is completely different. So this is the Nestle India chart. Okay, so I was like having this in radar, stating that okay, this has to perform good. So okay, let's mark the initial resistance. So the initial resistance is going to be the previous day high, and there is good zone of rejection shown. So we need to check how it is having a opening today. If suppose the candles are going to open above this, then any pullback to this zone can fill this particular gap zone. Okay, I was very much sure. But what happened is like on that day, 5 day, every stock, like broader market also went for a gap down, and this stock also went for a gap down. So this particular stock also went for a gap down. But if you notice this particular candle, it started showing some positive sign, and that is where I started noticing where it is trying to take a support. If you see, it is taking the support at the previous day low. Clear? And after that, I just waited and noticed whether there is any consolidation is happening, or it is going to straight away go and reject at the previous day high and move down. So when I see there were some consolidations happening, and looks like a pullback, and I was like pretty much sure that okay, now we have a good risk reward ratio. How am I saying risk reward ratio? Very, very simple. So if you see, the high of this candle is 16640, so it is like 640, assume 640, and this candle's low is 560. So 80 points is the stop loss. Why 80 points? Because it is having a pull, it is having a what is this called as it is having a pullback. So if in case if this particular zone is going to get broken, then the again candles low, like the day's low, can be touched. So I'm very much sure that if we are going to move further up, this particular candle's low is not going to get broken. So I was very much sure on that. So that is how I made an entry. I just showed this entry point in the screenshot also, like in the Telegram channel. So if you guys see, this was my entry point, 1664 above 16640. My entry will be there, and my stop loss is 80 points, and my target is going to be like how much ever I'm comfortable on booking, or how much ever the resistance I'm seeing. So the market started slowly moving up, and this candle also gave a good break above this zone of resistance. This candle gave a good close, and after that a small pullback, and then it started moving further up. And I exited my stock around 16840. Why? Because the volume is good, and the rejection is also seen at the resistance. Why resistance? Because here also we have seen some resistance, and above that there is a gap also. So I was like very much sure that okay, the market, the Nestle stock may not perform good after this, because there is some rejections and some gap zone is there. So if in case it has to move further up, it has to come with a good gap up scenario on a particular day, then only it will move up. So that is how I booked particularly over here, and I shared that particular screenshot also to in the Telegram channel. So this is how I traded Nestle India. So ICICI Bank, State Bank of India, completely based on the previous day high break and how it has taken a pullback. But in the case of Nestle, it is completely taking a support at the previous day low. And ICICI Bank and State Bank of India was forming some patterns, but here no patterns at all. It is completely analysis like how compression and expansion is going to go. I did not take in Devisla, but let me tell you, if I were taking an entry, how would I take an entry and all those things. So in the case of Devisla, it is on the daily chart, it is the same. Like we were able to see some rejections, okay, rejection at the bottom side, and compression are also seen. So I was expecting some move to happen in Devisla as well. So Devisla came inside my screener, and I shared this. And in the case of Nestle, it was taking support at the previous day high, but in the case of Davis Lab, it was not taking support, and it was something, it was like roaming here only. So again, as I said in Nestle, we have a resistance like here. There was some consolidations or some rejection seen over here, and above this, Davis Lab was not at all moving up. So I have to be very sure that either the candle should take support at the previous day low, so it has to come down and take a support at the previous day low, or some good consolidations should be seen. But if you see, this candle has a upper rejection, and after that next candle also did not have a good body also, and I was not getting a clear sign of entry at all. So I was like I was like waiting like for a good opportunity, at least a close above this particular zone. because this particular zone was facing some resistance like rejection. So I was like, if suppose we are able to get a particular close about this candle, this zone, and then I think maybe the 3576 can be possible, and further we can move the market to upside. But what happened is like, the if you see the green candles, the white candles are the green candles. The green candles are having wicks and they are looking very weak. But the red candles are showing some rejection nature. And after this red candle, I was about to place an order at this zone. Like if it is getting triggered, also let it get triggered. But after seeing this red candle, I decided to cancel the entry. Okay, this red candle showed that okay, there is enough amount of sellers, no rejection at the top, no rejection at the bottom. So it is clearly showing that okay, Davis Lab is looking weak, and that is how Davis Lab was avoided. So how to avoid, how to take an entry, all these things comes from experience only. You need to watch the charts keenly, you need to see what all other things you need to consider. And I'll just give one other hint in Davis Lab also, the what I did analysis on the previous day. That hint I will try to give you guys. So this is Davis Lab chart, okay, and if you see, there is some gap over here, and it completely took the like how to say this, completely took a gap support and started moving up. And what I would say is like, if in case we are going for a crash, like any good crash in future, then this particular gap zone will be the point where Davis Lab might take support. So let's see how it is happening. And apart from this, what I would say is like, after this gap zone, this was acting as a good resistance zone. This was acting as a good resistance zone. It clearly gave a breakout and started moving up, and now it came for a good pullback. Fine. Now, what I would say is like, it is taking support at the resistance zone. So if this is going to form as a double bottom scenario, then I think we might go till 3,900, and above that even 4,400 to 4,500 is also possible. But only one thing to worry is like, I'm not seeing good amount of green volume candles. So that is the point of worry in this case. But if this low is not going to get broken for a longer time, then I think we are good to see Davis Lab at 4,400 to 4,500. All these things, whatever I have done analysis, whatever I am sharing on this, all these are completely for educational purpose only. Please do your own analysis on these stocks so that you guys also will be able to make something out of it. So this is all from my end. There is no particular stock which I'm going to refer like this in for a Monday. So let me see whether any other screener or any other stock is looking good. So if it is looking good, I will try to share it in the Telegram channel. Please follow the Telegram channel for the intraday updates or any stock to watch for the next day. All these things you can watch it from the Telegram channel. And in Twitter, again, I will try to share some swing analysis, and as well as I will also share some analysis video in YouTube as well. Because when I had a discussion with the Telegram channel member, I shared Subex, and let's see what is happening to Subex. So this was a particular stock I shared on that day. So Subex, and I shared it around this zone, and now it is nearly some 33 rupees. So nearly, if you ask me, 20% move I could see. Wait, 20, 33, yeah, nearly 10% move has been seen in Subex, and I'm expecting some more good move also in Subex. And apart from that, I've shared Adani Power, as well as I've shared the what is another stock, Balrampur Chini Mills also. So try to analyze those stocks from your end, and if you feel the stock is looking good and all the parameters are suiting good, you can go for an entry. And again, I'm telling you guys, it is all for educational purpose only. So please do your own analysis on the same, so that you know what risk you are taking on those particular stocks. So anyways, do your own analysis and try to make a call out of that. So that's it from my end, guys. Thanks a lot. If you have any queries, please do let me know in the comment section. Please kindly share and subscribe to the YouTube channel and help us. Thanks a lot. Share it for more videos.